I'm good, thank you. Hey, Jenna. Hello, how are you doing?
Oh, good evening. Good. I'm just having some liver and steak. How about you?
Nice. No, well, not eating at the moment, but that sounds good.
Yeah, sorry. I'm kind of always multitasking as a baby mom. The baby is inside, so I have some
Oh, cool.
calm. Yeah.
That's is that multicolored trousers there?
Blanket.
Oh, okay. It reminds me of my old hippie days. I would wear trousers with patterns like that, very big baggy ones. Loved them. But since I lost the dreadlocks, I've also lost the trousers, sadly. Hey, Rad.
How you doing? Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're unmuted. I can hear you. That's great.
Hi, how you doing? How you doing, Phil?
Good, man. That's yeah, your first time on, eh?
Yeah, I've been watching several of your videos. I haven't seen all of them, but I've watched several of them. And you and I have a few things in common.
Okay,
We are both musicians.
cool.
I have not actually touched my bass guitar in over 10 years, so I should say I'm an ex-musician.
Oh,
I used to be pretty good at it though. So anyway, maybe we can jam sometime.
God, that'd be lovely. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. You got to come along to one of these events and we'll rock out.
right.
It's funny, no,
Well,
I've been dragged back into it. I am so thankful, for all this whole lifestyle has given me and just being able to play all the time at
mm,
my age. I did a long rehearsal yesterday and got a great jam night coming up tomorrow and with a monster bass player, actually, absolute
oh,
monster. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Yeah,
well,
pick that bass up again. Pick that
I'm
bass.
afraid I would disappoint you if you know monster bass players. I am not one. Okay.
Cool. So what brings you here, man?
Well, in 2017, I was 350 pounds.
Wow.
I was severely depressed and chronic fatigue. Although I never had an official diagnosis because I'm also poor and I don't have money for doctors. But at any rate, somehow or another, I found low carb or discovered. I didn't discover it myself, but I've found it by listening to other people. You know Vinny Tortorich? You
Yeah,
know that name?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. He was my first influence. But the beauty of Vinny Tortorich is he's got these Friday podcasts where he invites on other luminaries, such as yourself, such as Sean Baker, um, Ken Berry, Kelly Hogan, Ben Bickman, the whole list. You probably know them all.
Yeah.
And so I started following all those other people too. I got from 350 pounds down to 230 pounds in about 4 years. But then I plateaued. I got stuck at 230 for a long time. It was maybe 2 or 3 years I was stuck there. And then I heard Ben Bickman say something on one of his videos, and he said insulin stops fat loss because it stops lipolysis, right? So I said, so insulin, huh? Okay. So I had picked up the information that carbohydrates causes an insulin spike. So I just dropped all carbs and broke the plateau. So now I'm 190
Wow,
and
well
still go.
done. Well done.
Thank you. And no longer depressed, obviously, and no longer chronic fatigue. So, yeah, I'm doing much better. I've never felt this good in my entire life,
Oh man, that's
Frank.
fantastic. And now if you pick up the bass, it will hang at the proper angle and not sit upright, on your tummy.
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah,
Cool. That's fantastic story. Well done. Yeah, so are you fully carnivore now or just gone keto or what?
I'm almost I'd say 98, 99% carnivore. There are a couple of things that have some veg in them. There's a store near me that makes their own sausages, and one of their flavors of sausages has tiny little diced bits of jalapeno pepper in it. And it's really delicious. So I eat them. But there's not very much veg in my life
No.
anymore. So I'm pretty much almost carnivore.
Well, I think that
98.
those little tiny bits of veg won't do you any harm if you're not autoimmune. So what the hell? Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic story. Cool. So Joseph, how are you doing?
Uh, Phil, I am doing really great. What can I tell you? So I told you the last week that I just become hypo
Yeah.
according to the exams. So I am still hypo. So what I decided in the last week, because it was my heart rate just goes below 52 at night. Usually, before the autothyroidism, the autoimmune disease, sorry, my heart rate at night always was between 50 to 60. So now it just came to that particular number. So I decided with my wife, okay, because I was feeling this entire week, I'm feeling lethargic, all the symptoms of hypo. So the nails breaks, I have problems with the hair, I have fatigue, I have soreness. So I decided, okay, I think that I can remove the entire medication, the methimazole. So I just removed it, the entire one. I have been doing this one for 4 days now. The hypo is still there. I don't have, because before when I was on December and November that I just removed the pill, all the symptoms for hyperthyroidism came again to life, but now they are not there. So I am just feeling hypo and just there. So what I am trying to do, I think, is keep moving this for at least 2 or 3 weeks. And if it's just a standard thing without the medication, I will test what you have said me the last time, that is just proven with the iodine. I haven't tried yet because I am a bit aware. It's only 4 days without the medication. Usually the methimazole has like 7 days load. So in 3 days, I would probably know if in reality the thyroid is not the immune system is not attacking anymore the thyroid. So I think that in 3 days or maybe 4 to 5 days, I would know that. But yeah, feeling terrific because the hypo is not a good thing, but I prefer hypo to hyper.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I talked to my wife, so my wife asked me like, well, what is the worst of the two things? No, I prefer to be in hypo because with hypo at least you can live, you can just survive. Yeah, if you have a really bad hypo without any thyroid and without any I3 or T3 or T4, yeah, you will not survive. You need at least a couple of T3 and T4. But I think that right now the thyroid is producing just that small amount that is necessary. I guess that is what you have said before, that there are not sufficient iodine. So I'm pretty sure about that, but I don't want it to force the body just now. I just wanted to keep going the healing process. I don't feel any problem with my thyroid right now because before, for instance, the thyroid just beating. Right now, it's not beating. There are not like this flow of blood that just beat the thyroid. So yeah, I think that from that point of view, everything is impressive. It's only after 45 days of PKD, I removed the entire medication. It's insane. It's like I told to my wife, it's like, okay, this is possible. Because even with keto, it was not possible. Where eating fish, it was not possible. Not all the other things didn't work. But yeah, BKD is, I don't know, it's impressive.
It's funny, isn't it? There's so many people coming out now saying how dangerous carnivore is and how you've got to add back in a load of carbohydrates. It's funny. And then
No, it doesn't make sense.
you see results like this, but there we go. No, it's a very stressful state, you see, ketosis, Joseph. It's a survival mechanism, and it's basically what wiped out all the Inuit, centuries ago. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
bizarre.
definitely.
Have you tried? Have you done anything with borax yet?
Yeah, I am doing the borax again.
You are
So
okay.
I have been doing the borax for 7 days now. So it's just a tiny amount. It's
Yeah.
like maybe less than half of a gram, 0.5 grams. So even maybe less than that, because I don't want it to push just a cleaning reaction, because I know that the cleaning reaction are real and the body can just go and mess up everything. So
Mm.
I am just be careful there. But I know that borax is a huge thing. I am completely agree with that. And thank you so much for introducing the borax to me.
No, that's cool. So
Because
you haven't tried drinking a whole year's worth by accident like my missus.
no, not really.
Good.
No. I have tried just a tiny amount, but I think that is sufficient just to continue the cleaning process. Because at the end, as you have said the last week, there are too many toxins still there on the body. Even if the body can just now not attacking anymore the thyroid, yeah, the toxin should be in other places. But I have lost a lot of. I am not a really weight person. I am just more a skinny person. But what I have found the last month is that I usually just measure the fat percentage of my body. Usually it was like between 11% to 50% usually, but nowadays it's just like 8 to 7%. It's
Wow.
impressive. Every piece of fat that I have I don't know, in my gut, in my back, in my legs, are disappearing. So yeah, my only concern, but it's not a concern anymore. Before I was concerned, okay, I am looking more skinny right now, and how I am going to look in maybe in 2 or 3 months. But right now, I am just, I don't think anymore of that. I am just more focused on the healing process. I am just feeling better. I don't have to take the medication, so yeah, who cares? If I feel skinny, so I can live with that, but not with hyperthyroidism. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Well, soon you'll be ripped like Rad. No, this whole healing and skinny thing, you've heard me say it before, don't worry about it. It all sorts itself out in time. During the healing phase, you can get quite skinny, but from autoimmune, particularly healing the gut, and it's fine. You'll be cool.
Yeah.
You'll be
Sure.
ripped. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your and thank you for
Franca,
all the help.
Franca, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Um, I'm finding it really difficult
Okay.
to stay pure carnivore. I just keep right. I'm doing the healing part, right, which is this just to be the meat, the salt, and the water. And I started on January 2nd, and it just it has been a struggle for me. I had my thyroid checked, so I need to go to see the functional doctor in a couple weeks to go over my results. But I did a reset yesterday, like I did 24-hour fast, and I'm back on. So let's see. It's just the sugar cravings is crazy. Like I can go 5 days to 6 days, like being right on, eating well. And then it just happens. I just start craving something sweet. Um, for me, it's just been a struggle, and I'm hoping that um, eventually it'll correct itself. Right? I have been I've been on keto and carnivore like for very over the years, right? Doing it on and off, and I think it's the cravings that keep coming up that I end up sabotaging myself. Now I don't know if it's mental or if it's maybe my thyroid because I am also hypothyroid. I have hypothyroidism and I don't have an active thyroid, so it may be tweaking my meds to help with that. I don't know, or just continue doing what I'm doing. And if I fall off the wagon, just get back on the next day or the next meal, right? Just keep doing it until the body has and the mind has regulated and accepted that this is now the way it's going to eat, right? And I have a hard time incorporating the fats. Not that I can't stop, like it's physical. I think it just doesn't taste good. Like I just like eating tallow by itself. I don't know how you guys do that. I'm thinking of even putting soft tallow in a capsule and then just swallowing it that way. Just to
What
increase.
are you taking like sort of tablespoons full of it and just eating it on its own or something? Or you mean with the food?
With food, I'm okay. Like I'll cook with tallow. But to eat it straight, I can't. And I know I need to up the fats. I'm good with the protein. My steaks are strip loin, and I tell the butcher to leave at least an inch of fat around it. And then I ordered ground beef that has more fat. Instead of 80/20, I said, just give me 40/60 fat. So, and then I'll add again the tallow when I'm cooking. But to eat it by itself, I can't. And butter, I had to eliminate because it's dairy. But usually I would have put butter in my coffee in a decaffeinated coffee, and I would have drank that. Bacon I can have, but then I get sick and tired of eating like so much bacon just to increase the fat. So I'm working on it. To me, it's not not an easy transition. I'm finding it difficult. And also, like I'm a foodie. Like I like flavor, right? I've always, had rosemary and garlic and onions. Now I can't have any of that. So it's for me personally, it's taking a little longer.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it for now?
I started January 2nd.
Oh yes, okay. You know that's early days, Franca. It really
Okay.
is. But also, I mean, like 3 months, like 90 days is really the time to see where you are and sort of reevaluate. But I don't think you need to eat tablespoonsfuls of ghee. I mean, if you've got the ground beef that's that high in fat, and you've also got like an inch of a fat cap on strip loin, just whatever you cook it in is fine. Don't be forcing down loads of
Okay.
fat. Your body's obviously telling you that's too much, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm eating is fine. It's just that this sweet tooth of mine, I don't know. It's a craving that I get. I don't know if it's mental that I'm feeling that I'm being deprived of certain foods. So then the inner child kicks in saying, okay, stop depriving yourself. You deserve it. Eat it. Go have a sweet and take a bite of a donut. And then I'll do it. And then I feel guilty. I'm like, what did I just do? And then I'm like, oh, well, I'll just eat the whole thing. I already blew it. So it is a lot of
Donut,
mental.
I know the exact feeling, but I mean, donuts, for goodness sake, they're just like seed oils, grains, and sugar, and so they're awful. I mean, at least have some nice chocolate or something that doesn't have the fiber in it and all the plant toxins, that sort of thing. The way I got past it was, like when you go, I don't know if it's like that over there, but it is in England. you go into a garage, you know, a petrol station, and you've paid for you're paying for your diesel or petrol or whatever, and they have rows and rows of sweets and chocolates right by the till.
Yeah,
And
they have that here.
yeah, and you can see people, they just pick one up. It's like they know what they're doing. They put them there. And I always used to just say, well, that is the dodgy imbalance of the microbiome. It's those guys down there craving that. It's not me. And also the EFT thing. I don't know if you've tried it. I mean, I know it's kind of weird and you know the tapping and things, but I found that so useful for sort of reconditioning the brain. And
Okay.
yeah, you know, look up EFT and addiction or
Hmm.
something on YouTube and find some videos on it and give it a go. It can be really powerful.
Okay, I'll give that a try. I heard though that the thyroid craves the carbs. So I'm hoping that it's not my mental, that it is physical, that it could be an imbalance, and once I get that fixed,
Well,
I'll
yeah, it can be, but then I don't know the thyroid particularly craves carbs. It's just kind of used to them. But I think once you get that attitude to it reprogrammed, then you're okay. I mean, obviously, like me, you're an abstainer and not a moderator. It's like my missus can put a bar of chocolate in the fridge and have one square, and 3 days later, it's exactly the same, and she have one more square. That doesn't work for me. I'm the same. I'll eat the whole. Well, I don't eat donuts, but you know, I never liked them. But in the time where if there's a bar of chocolate in the fridge and she takes one square, I'd have the rest of the bar. You know,
yeah.
and it's like my friend. I have done this as well. A friend of mine, Heather Foley, who's great, who's speaking at one of our events coming up. She's a good friend of mine. And she said that she was sharing a house with somebody and they had a bar of chocolate with a couple of squares gone in the fridge. And she ate the whole thing. And she felt guilty and she went out and bought another bar of chocolate and ate two squares so that it was exactly the same amount in the fridge. You know?
I would do something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Exactly. That's what
Oh,
it's like. You know that old rat study they did where they fed them like sugar and crack or something. And they just went for the sugar first. It's more addictive than anything, and it's so available. And nature knew best, you know, in warmer climes, gave us a bit of sugar in the autumn, did us no harm. But,
Mm.
you know, year round, it is ridiculously addictive. So,
yeah.
I mean, it really came home to me with my son, and he's been at it today as well. Can you go and get some chocolate? And, you know, first 4 years of his life, really, just breast milk. And then when he was weaned, just meat. And then I gave him one bit of chocolate. And from there, that was it. The addiction was there. Bang. You know, as soon as he comes out of school now, have you got any chocolate? Can we go to the shop? Can we, you know, and it's there. It's horrendous. It really is serious addiction. I don't worry about it too much because, you know, 95% he eats meat and so he has a bit of chocolate. So what? I'm not really that bothered. I'd rather he had chocolate than broccoli. But he's fine. But yeah, I really would try the EFT, but honestly, it's if you only started on the 2nd of January, you are in the most difficult phase now, without a
Okay.
doubt. Whatever it is that people hit in the first couple of months, I don't know if anybody else here has found that, but whether it's just inability to digest stuff, going to the toilet all the time, cramps,
Yeah.
palpitations,
Yeah.
addictions, those are the things that happen early on. And honestly, hang in there because it's early days. You'll be fine, I reckon.
I also found that this was in the month of January, and I think it had to do with the oxalates. So I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis, and I do have the psoriasis, and it's on my back and my elbows, and oh my god, it just on fire. It just flared up like crazy, and I'm noticing either. So I'm okay. I did have those cheat dates, right? But then I have the flare ups too. So my whole body is just trying to figure, I guess, what's going on, right? Letting go of the carbs, adjusting, then the ox dumping. I am taking binders. Like now it's just started. It's been a week. My girlfriend, she knows a lot about the oxalates. And so she said, take these, they'll help. I'm taking the magnesium, so chocolate cravings are completely gone because I'm also a chocoholic. And so yeah, I guess you're right. Like the first 30 or the first 3 months, the 90 days is a time that you go through all these phases, and it's detoxing and adjusting, and right. And it's uncomfortable. Like the flare-ups too, my finger swelled up again, my toe swelled up, and I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And the skin now is calming down. So I'll keep going. I'm not quitting. I'm gonna keep going. I'm determined that this way of eating is the miracle to healing.
It is. Well, you know that old cartoon thing where there's some guy and he's a miner, isn't he? And he's dug this huge hole, this big tunnel, and he's tunneling and tunneling, and he's about an inch from a seam of gold, and he goes, "Oh, I've had enough." Just keep going. You never know when you're there, and but in the short term, also, like you say, you can get kind of flares. And Gina says here in the chat, might be your gut flora, candida or whatever, telling you to need sweets, and it does. It's like they do shout at you.
Yeah, so I'm going for a live blood analysis. Do you know what that is?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so my functional doctor is I have that appointment next week. We're going to check and see if we have candida, because that's another thing because I told him what I'm doing, and he's also interested to see my results. And I said to him, listen, you got to do something because I'm craving sugar and I'm not supposed to. So like run all the blood panels that you need with my thyroid and metals and everything. And he did. And I just have the live blood analysis to do, and then we'll take it from there. So I'm very fortunate that I am also working with a functional doctor, and he's also interested and open-minded to the carnivore diet. Right. So I do have that support there, and I have your group, and you as well. So
cool. I've had the live blood analysis myself, but it was a friend of mine who does it. And he came around and did it. It was very interesting, but I would just say be a bit cautious with functional medicine doctors and live blood analysis and all of that. You can really get down the rabbit hole. I mean, I wish that there was something that I could sell, something that would be useful to people, but generally it isn't. I mean, if you're okay and you want to get those results, great, go for it. But the best results I've had have just been removing everything that caused the problems and being patient. And various tests haven't really shown anything. If this is our basic human ancestral diet, you've just got to sit on it for a bit and be patient. I mean, how many decades has it taken us to get into these messes? And then we get worried that in a month it hasn't sorted itself out. I mean, if I see somebody who's like teenage or 20s and they've never taken meds and they've just been diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis or rheumatoid, they can go carnivore and it's all sorted in like 2 weeks, but not a few decades on. We've got more damage to unwind, and you've just got to be patient. The body knows what it's doing. It really does. But Joseph says here, seeing your loved ones eating carbs is one of the more difficult ones. Yeah, I'm the other way. I kind of get a bit like, what on earth do you think you're doing? That's poison and stuff. And then I'm terrible because they hassle, and then I agree to go out and buy it. So it's my own fault. But sometimes you just go, oh God, I've had enough hassle. But most of the time they eat great, so that they'll be fine. They can get rid of that. And Joseph says, I guess the supplements can also create leaky gut, even the magnesium.
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, it's mostly the binders and stuff in supplements that keep the leaky gut going, and they're often not in the form that is particularly bioavailable, and they can be quite high in deuterium. And you're not doing it there, but when people take a multivitamin or something, they're often the vitamins, the synthetic vitamins, are combined in a way that they wouldn't be in nature and cancel each other out. Just such beautiful talk by my friend Dr. Sarah Pugh at one of our events, and just absolutely ripping supplements to bits. But I do understand about the magnesium, particularly the citrates, which you're probably talking about, the binders, to take the
No, I'm
oxalate
not using
out.
that because I'm allergic to citric acid and anything like that. So I am on
Which binders is your friend saying about the oxalate?
well, charcoal.
Oh no, okay, all right.
That's not a good one.
Well, it's I think it's kind of useful if you've been like acutely poisoned with something to get something out of the gut, but the gut rearranges itself um, beautifully in time when you go carnivore and stop feeding it with other stuff. I would say a sort of ancestral lens there, really. When how much did our ancestors need to eat charcoal? I don't know. I guess it was okay for kind of drawing with or something, but I don't know. I personally wouldn't. I've never recommended it. I've done it. I've tried it. I've tried all the binders like bentonite clay as well, and
Yeah.
whatever it is, the other clay, isn't it? Forget what it's called. Similar thing though. And then people are going, "Oh, look at that great big parasite I had coming out. I've got rid of everything. Oh, this is marvelous." It's not. It's just the bentonite clay sort of molding to the shape of your intestines and then coming out. See a light? Yeah, that's one. Yeah. There's another one though. But anyway, these kind of things. But I don't know. I always say to people at the beginning, just take everything out. And this is what Zofia says. Um, okay, bisglycinate. Yeah, well, that's a great form of magnesium to get it in, but are you sure you need it? Again, we get told these things are
Yeah.
great, and they are.
I do need it because my calves twitch if I'm not on that.
Okay, but have you tried just the salt shots to see what happens with your calves twitching?
Just salt.
Yeah. Just Celtic sea salt, like a teaspoon in some warm water, little bit of warm water, mix it around, swill it down. I was actually hospitalized for palpitations, which is a similar process to anything twitching. It's just an electrolyte issue. And then I took magnesium probably for like 18 months, and it sort of did a little bit. And then I think I've told this before, but my son came in from climbing, my eldest son, when he was living here, probably it's like 2013 or something. And he said, "Have you not figured it out? You just take a load of salt in water." He said, and I say, "Well, I have a load on my food." And he said, "No, no, it works more in the water." And it was my son who did that because he'd taken it climbing because then you get cramps, in your forearms and whatever when you're doing a load of climbing. And he said, as soon as that happens, I just take a salt shot and there we go. And I've seen it so many times now. If anybody has an electrolyte issue, and then they think, oh, you need something fancy like magnesium. Joseph says 1 to 2 grams of salt solves the problem for me. Yeah, it really does. I mean, there are issues sometimes when people do have a potassium, magnesium, or whatever issue, but usually it's just the salt, and that balances the rest of them.
Okay, I thought putting
Oh,
it on your meat was enough.
sorry? No.
I thought putting it on your meat was enough. Okay, I'll try it. I'll give it a try. Anything I can do naturally is best.
Yeah. It can be amazing, and you can do that at like every 20 minutes till it calms down. You can't
Okay.
have too much salt. It's not
Yeah.
not a big deal. But yeah, give that a go. Honestly, I've got that carnivore group in Facebook, and people often come up. I've got twitches, palpitations, I've got cramps, that sort of thing. I don't even bother to answer now because I know there's going to be at least 20 people underneath going, take a salt shot. And it sorts it out, it does. It was funny. There was a guy, a very well-off guy in Manchester, which is quite near me, but he wanted a consult. His only problem was cramps at night. And I told him about the salt shots, and that was it. That was his only problem. He's a healthy guy apart from that. And I thought, I feel a bit, we had a nice chat and whatever, but I thought, I feel really guilty charging him for a full consult for that. And anyway, a couple of days later, he emailed me and he said, that was so miraculous, I'm going to pay you double.
Wow,
I
beautiful.
thought that was really sweet, but yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It can sort it. Not always, but I would say 90% of the time. Yeah. Terrell, okay. Redmond salt is good. Celtic is great. Redmond is good. Not Himalayan. Um, Himalayan can be full of crap. And obviously the white salt, because they say You know, if it's white, it's shite, as they say. But Redmond's good. Celtic's good. Yeah. 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 So, Gina, I saw this one. You have a question about reintroducing things, you said.
Because I was going to do borax or start borax next month. Do I need binders with it or not?
With the borax?
Oh,
No?
okay, cool. I just read it in a group, so it's nonsense. Okay. And about the reintroduction, so I last week when I prepared, or beginning of the week when I prepared my week's supply of tallow, I had a tallow accident and 2 glasses broke, so I ended up with having too little for the week. And then I was not sure what's better, just be on meat and kind of get out of ketosis, or replace it with butter. And I chose the butter. And so now today is my 3rd day on butter, and I'm not sure because I don't have flares anymore, with my rheumatoid arthritis. I'm not sure like how quickly would a sensitivity or like an allergic reaction or a flare show up after you eat something. Like, do you eat only like a little spoon once and then you wait for a week, or do you use it 3 days long and then you see what happens? Because I don't have a flare exactly, but my body feels kind of weird. I really miss the tallow, but I can't help it.
Well, I think first of all, this is just one of the most dodgy excuses I've ever heard for eating butter. I think you've had that accident on purpose. I think you were just
No, I swear.
I think you were just sick of tallow. No, I'm messing. Um, reintroducing things, it depends why you want to do it, really. You can reintroduce some things, but again, I love sort of referring to Zofia because she's seen so many people and she tracks them much better than I do. And their thing is not even a molecule of dairy ever, just get rid of it. But some people are fine on butter, and some people live to way over 100 and they have a load of cheese and butter, right? So I don't think it's optimal for adults. But if you're not having a reaction to it and you want to have it now and again, I mean, I do. If I go to a restaurant or something, you can't say, "Can I have extra tallow, please?" They don't have it. So they bring
Yeah.
you a steak or something that's not got enough fat. And so I'll say, just bring me a load of butter. And I love it. It tastes amazing. But I wouldn't do it in a healing phase if I was having any flares. But if you're past that, I don't think butter is one of the things that gives you like an instant pain or anything. You know, if
Yeah, because it's not our issue. Like it's more the osteoarthritis than the rheumatoid arthritis flares.
yeah.
So I was just wondering if I had the rheumatoid arthritis, like if I had a flare, how long would it take, like for my body to show, okay, there's a reaction? Would it be right away, like after I eat something, or the next day, or even a few weeks, days later?
It can be a few days later or even past that if the
Mm.
gut isn't so leaky. So
Mm.
if it's a slower reaction, then it shows that you're healing better. I mean,
Mm.
you've done a load of healing rather. You know, if something has an immediate reaction, I remember being at a stage where if I ate something, it would be like before I'd even finished the meal, I could feel it. But it's
Mm.
not like that anymore at all. Um, so I think if you've got past the stage of having any flares, that's probably I don't think dairy, at least high fat dairy or A2 dairy or raw dairy, gives so much of an immediate reaction. It's more down the line. The problem with dairy is the growth factors, and then 10 years down the line, it's more a sort of unusual cell replication cancer sort of risk, I think, that people don't they don't associate with the dairy because they felt fine with it immediately. But if you've got past the flares and stuff, then I don't think it's anything that would sort of block the uptake because you've got that sort of knee damage and stuff. And that would be more, rebuilding the sulfur pathways. So if you're past the flares, then yeah, go for it. Egg yolks and MSM powder and all that kind of thing is fine. Um, Yeah, if you're not flaring, it tells me that you've really gone a long way with gut healing. And I
Yeah.
don't have any immediate reaction anyway to butter whatsoever.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, MSM, I used to take it with lemon, but because I thought it needs or it's better uptaken when combined with vitamin C, is that right? Or is it just enough
Uh,
the powder?
no, I don't think it has to be taken with lemon or anything. No, it's just yeah, just just it's just a method of getting extra sulfur in to rebuild cartilage. That's all.
Right. Yeah. And one more thing, I think I
Yeah.
read it in the comments in your group. Sorry, the sun has gone down. It's dark. I'm kind of outside, or we have like a half outside kitchen. I don't know if you still see me.
Dark
But
here
anyway,
too.
so I think that I might still have, and this is so complicated for me, but I know I used to have a histamine issue. Maybe I still have it, and maybe it's paired with MCAS. And this is so confusing. I have the feeling like that it's all connected, like histamine, MCAS, and oxalates. And I saw like somebody, like a friend of yours, or also an expert. I don't know if it was Eddie, the name, but somebody suggested vitamin C and copper. And usually, carnivore is like one of the reasons why I do it is because I don't want to take supplements anymore. But still, I have the feeling maybe I can help my body with a little push because I'm on carnivore now several months, and sometimes at night I'm just in so much pain. And yeah, it's annoying. And I wonder if that's due to this histamine MCAS thing
What sort of pain you in? Where's the pain?
in the joints.
In the joints, the ones that were damaged or just any joints?
No, kind of like not all joints, but like a lot of joints. Like it seems when I don't move, maybe it's also a circulation thing. I don't know, or maybe because I don't drink so much at night, or I have no idea. But as soon as I move a little bit, it clears up, and it's not that they are like obviously swollen or red. It's just painful, and it's strange because when you lie down and you have a rest, you kind of expect the opposite, that your body relaxes, no?
No, not really, because where at night is the time when the body does the repair.
Mm.
And so, if it's going to be inflaming anywhere and it's going to be going in and trying to get rid of those toxins in certain parts of the body, it does it at night, doesn't it? It does it when you're sleeping and resting.
Mm.
So I don't know. I couldn't possibly say. I mean, and all I know is subtracting things and being patient. I'm really that simple. So, everybody just don't bother coming on these calls anymore. It's a total waste of time because that's all I know. I mean, no, I've tried all these other things and know probably why they're no good, but I don't know whether that's a rabbit hole that I don't really know. I mean, the vitamin C thing, I don't really like because people take too much of it. It's often corn based, which is not very good. And if you take too much vitamin C, it can also get the body to produce its own oxalates, and so you can end up with kidney stones from taking too much vitamin C. So I, I'm not a great fan of it. Obviously, people do these sort of mega doses and intravenous and get rid of cancer and things. It's all very interesting, but how often does it work and how often doesn't it work? And it causes more problems. So there are probably times when any of these interventions have sped up people's healing. And then there's 99 other cases where it's done nothing or it's caused complications. So I really can't answer that because I don't know what's going on. So
Yeah. So
sorry.
maybe I'm just gonna stick with my liver as a vitamin, multivitamin
Uh,
supply.
well, liver is your multivitamin. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. You've got a lot of stress and you've had a load of damage in there. I mean, stuff that accident that you had, I mean, it kind of blows me away.
Mm.
Really. So you got so much stress and connected with that area, particularly. I don't know what other joints are going on, but I don't know. I don't know. You got me on that one.
Easy, no worries. Thank you, anyway.
Okay. What's Joseph on about here? I used to drink a lot of water, like 5 to 6 liters. Nowadays, I drink less than 1 liter. I feel like if I drink more, I guess more cramps. Well, drinking loads of water without any remineralization in it will pull out those electrolytes. So, Joseph, the powder I was on about is MSM. I think it's methyl sulfonyl methane, I think it's called. Um, Rad says if you're ever in the USA, don't ask for butter in a restaurant. Either they'll look at you like you have 3 heads, or they'll simply lie and give you margarine. Yeah, I've had that. It's terrible with the margarine thing. But also, you get some sort of obese waitress will come up, and then eventually, and then you say, actually, they'll bring you a little pack of butter like that. You say, can I have some more? And I can I have some more. And then sometimes they'll go, oh, that'll give you heart disease, that will. And then I can just see, my missus, and she'll sort of put her head in her hands, like, no, don't, just don't engage. So, sometimes I have, and it's like, oh dear, whatever. Joseph, what about sourdough bread? What are your thoughts on it? It's not for me, it's for my wife. Okay, so Joseph, so you're all right. You're putting yourself on a great diet. Are you trying to murder your missus? Is this what's going on? Does she have a big life insurance policy or something? No, it's crap, mate. It's crap. It's. I think it's slightly better than regular bread, which has loads of additives in it. But to me, it's like saying, which one of these two is the best smelling dog turd? Nah, it's grains, mate. It's bollocks. Don't do it. Horrible. Terrell, what is quinton to remineralize filtered H2O? Terrell, do you want to unmute and chat about that? Because I don't know what that is.
Quinton, it started in France, I think, in the 19th century, named after, I believe his name was Rene Quinton. It is cold filtered seawater from a specific spot, I believe in the North Atlantic, if I have that right. And so they collect it and they cold filter it, and then you either can buy it straight just as that, or they combine it with spring water to create a liquid that is very similar to blood plasma. And they did big experiments back, in the day, where they took dogs and they removed all the blood from the dog and then put in this, it's called the isotonic quinton. So put in this seawater mixed with the spring water and put it back into the dogs, and they all survived. Their body used that to rebuild their blood. So it's supposed to have a full spectrum of all like minerals that you would find, because it's seawater. So it's all minerals.
I've heard about something like that. I would think that would be great. I'm not 100% sure, but if it's seawater, I mean, there's a load of people now getting really into this. Oh, what is his name? Why have I forgotten his name? The guy who's into just drinking a load of salt water and stuff, and he's got loads of these devotees who.
Oh, Sean O'Mara?
No. It's there's a Z in it somewhere, I think. Anyway, when names go, it'll probably pop up in a couple of minutes when I'm trying to think of something else. But there's a load of people, and they're talking about it being very, very close to plasma, and they call it plasma. And so, drinking huge amounts of salt water. I've seen this not be such a good idea for some people, but
no,
there's a couple.
It's a very small amount.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But I mean, there's people really saying that, there's somebody on my Facebook who keeps saying, it's healed up his hernia, and You know, Anthony Chaffee's knee never heals up because he's dehydrated because he needs a load of plasma. And but for remineralizing, I mean, that's nature, isn't it? There's a whole load of
Yeah.
balance of minerals and stuff and electrolytes in seawater. And there's
Yeah.
this myth that you can't drink it, and you actually can. Um, yeah, I do.
Okay.
What's his name? God, it's driving me mad. I'll think of the name. Yeah, I'll put it under the recording if I can't remember it. But
Okay.
he's kind of interesting guy. He seems to be, you know, a lot of people think he's completely barking mad, and you know, there's a couple of people keep saying, "Get him on the podcast, get him on the podcast." But I don't know. I'm sort of in two minds about him. I'm not really sure about the enormous amounts of seawater constantly, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, but if you don't have it, Celtic sea salt's good. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I did also have a couple of questions if I can.
yeah.
Okay. So one is like recently, so I have a lot of joint pain. I have osteoarthritis in one knee.
And
And
I mean that church
so
apparently. I'm sorry.
I just have been craving fat, craving, and I've been carnivore for a long time, but like not eating butter, but adding tallow when I cook ground beef, adding tallow and like just and eating all of the rendered fat. If I cook bacon, all of the rendered fat, I eat it with the bacon. I mean, and it's just, and I'm not getting any loose stools. I'm not getting anything, and so I'm wondering, is that helping my body to heal, or is that just because I mean it's a lot, and I've never shied away from fat, but recently it's just like give me all the fat.
I think that's great. Sounds like my missus. You know, she'll just, you know, when people sort of trim the fat off steak, she'll trim the fat off steak and eat it, and not eat the protein bit, not eat the lean bit. So, yeah, absolutely. It's funny, isn't
Okay.
it? Do you remember that old nursery rhyme thing or the saying?
Oh
Jack
yeah, fat
Jack
would eat no
Sprat
fat.
could eat no fat, and his wife could
His
eat
wife
no
would eat
lean,
no
and so
lean.
between the two of them, they licked the platter clean or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you know women do crave a load of fat sometimes, as if they can digest it well. And if you got no loose stools and you enjoy it, go for it. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Um, so then a question about pain. Like I've had experienced the same pain like in the night. I think it was Gina. Um, like not every night, but waking up and just searing pain, and my pain is in my knees, in my ankles, my elbows, and my arms, like my arms and my shoulders. Um, just searing pain, and I have not been able to pinpoint that where I've done something or not done something or eaten something that would cause that. And so I'm wondering, is that just part of like the body healing, or like you mentioned that that's when we, you know, when we're sleeping is when we do the repair, you know, our body repairs. And also like trying to um um get the pain to such a level where I can function rather than focusing all my time on trying to not be in pain. Like I'm using ibuprofen and acetaminophen, which I know are not good, but I don't know what else to try.
They they will, as you know, keep the gut leaky,
Mhm.
and also put off the problem.
Right.
So when you take that, then you can quite often kick the can down the road, you know. It's
Okay.
like you imagine a laundry basket filling up. I won't do a wash today. I'll just do it. And then it's overflowing, and then you can't fit it in the washing machine. And then, you know, this is kind of the same thing with the body. If you take those things that you know, cut the symptoms down, then it does kick the can down the road. And then the body's going to have more problems down the road clearing those toxins at night. But I can't know specifically what's doing it. I mean, in the daytime, do you have that pain, or does it go when you wake up?
It's not as bad. It's not as bad, but I do have it during the day, which is sometimes, you know, I have to be able to function to work,
Mm.
um, which, you know, is sedentary. It's just sitting at a computer. Um, but
Do you
some
work
days
from home?
I do work from home, yes.
do you have Iris on the computer?
Hmm.
You do.
Yeah.
Do you get up and walk around or bounce on a rebounder now and again? Do you get out and get grounded when you've been there for like 50 minutes or something?
Um, I've been trying to do that more because I will get immersed in something and then 3 hours go by
Yeah.
and then I get up. And so I'm trying to like figure a way like to, set an alarm to remind myself to
I
get
was
up.
going to say, set an
Yeah.
alarm. I saw a
Yeah.
little reel by a 104-year-old doctor who said that it's not about exercising once a day. It's about, you know, 10 minutes, 5 minutes or something once an hour.
Hmm. So, I mean, as far as grounding, where I live right now, the only way, well, that I can easily or quickly go outside and ground is there are some trees right inside the courtyard that I can, hold on to ground.
Yeah, tree
Um,
hugging's great.
okay. Just waiting for one of my neighbors to come out and see me hugging the tree. So that'll be a fun conversation.
Well, you can
And
sort of just lean on it
yeah,
nonchalantly.
no, I do. I put my hand on it. I'm not like full on hugging it.
I've got a friend in the music business who's just developing something called the ground dog lead. And it's for walking your dog. So it's a conductive lead. So you ground through your dog.
Oh,
I thought that was really kind of fascinating,
that's,
that one.
yeah,
It's cool.
because the dog's paws, yeah, are on the earth, so that's good.
Yeah, don't worry,
So
Laurie. I'm tracking this coming on. Yeah, I can't say specifically why it happens. You know, these sort of pains, and all I can say is just remove everything. You know, in the realms of stress and light and food, and
okay,
and see what happens. Otherwise, it's I can't tell specifics. I really can't.
okay,
Just
all right.
yeah, do the best you can. I've just got to check the chat here.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Um, hey, what's your name? I know that I recognize you. We got just Zoom user up on your Zoom thing there, and you got some questions here. I'm being told I need cyberknife radiation. Going for a consult about it tomorrow. I don't want it. Just had a spinal tumor removed, and they could not remove all the tumor, so they say my only hope is cyberknife. Otherwise, the cancer will return to the spine and hardware the doctor put in my back, rods and screws will fall out. Okay, right. Okay, tell me about it. What is cyberknife? I don't know.
It's radiation.
Okay.
It's very specific. It allows for movement, and like the other kind, it only takes like 5 treatments, but it's very precision oriented.
Okay. Um, what's your name? Can't call you Zoom user.
Yes, my name's Kelly.
Kelly. Hello, Kelly.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to hear about that. I would say that this is beyond me, and what you would I really think you should go straight away and get a consult with Sophia Clements at Paleomedicina. You know,
Is that
I will. It's and it's if anybody has cancer, I'm happy to talk to them, but there's so much fear mongering around cancer, and there is so much uh when you have your doctors, friends, everything. Frank, you have to leave now. Okay, see you later. Um, there's so much fear mongering. I think you're never going to get confidence in it until you talk to somebody who has real experience, clinical experience of reversing cancer naturally. I've
Well,
seen it.
here's what I did. In April of 2024, I was diagnosed with lobular and ductal invasive carcinoma of the breast with lymph node involvement, stage 3. So they wanted me to have a double mastectomy followed by chemo, radiation, and endocrine therapy for 5 to 10 years. And I said, no, 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 no. Well,
Yeah.
here I am 2 years later, and it metastasized to my spine. And when I went to the doctor on the 26th of January, the cyberknife doctor, I didn't even know who she was. A friend of mine just says, you got to go see a doctor, because I'd had CAT scans and MRIs, but I didn't have a doctor since I turned down treatment. All my CAT scans were going in a dark hole. Nobody was receiving them. Nobody was looking at them. So I finally went in to see this cyberknife doctor, and she said, you need to have a surgery immediately. Like right now, you need to go to the emergency room. So I did. She couldn't believe I wasn't paralyzed. She said, you have tingling and numbing in your legs. And I said, no. And she said, I can't believe it. She said, you have almost complete spinal cord compression from a tumor. And so when I went immediately to the emergency room. And at 1 and 2 in the morning, I had CAT scans and MRIs. And at 10 o'clock in the morning, the surgeon came in and he said, are you having tingling and numbing in your legs? And I said, no. And he said, I can't believe you're not paralyzed. He said, I'm going to do emergency surgery right now. And so I didn't do the surgery. I knew that there was a lot of fear mongering and all of that. And instead, I took the ivermectin, the fenbenzidol, the apricot kernels, and all of that. Went on the keto diet, but it just seems like nothing worked.
Mm.
So here I am.
Can I ask you one personal question, kind of? Have you had any of the COVID jabs?
No,
Okay,
no, I knew
that's
not to get those.
fantastic. That's wonderful. Please, please talk to Zofia.
Do you have her
Nobody,
number?
well, I'm going to put it. Well, okay, here we go. I'm going to find the website, but they do consultations over Zoom. They'll track you. I don't know anyone in the world that has better results with cancer. Oh, this always happens. I found the website, and then you end up with it in like Hungarian or something. Um, oh, I know. I put en on the end. That usually works.
Phil, what about Gerson therapy?
No chance. Come on, Emmanuel.
Okay,
Behave
just
I
yourself.
I did call Gerson early on, and they said, whatever you do, don't do a biopsy. And I said, I just had one. And I said, something told me not to do it, but then they scare you. So I did it. And I did 2 mammograms. I'm 68 years old. I've never had a mammogram in my life. But you get on the chemo conveyor belt, you get on this whole cancer conveyor belt, and
Yeah,
things just
yeah.
start happening so damn fast. They do it. I swear they do it so you don't have time to Dr. Google, or anything. You just do what they say. But I at least, I thought, well, I'm going to save myself by not doing anything. I was telling people, fire your oncologist. And then here I am, 2 years later. I'm lucky I'm not paralyzed. And they said, if you don't have this radiation, because I told him, I said, well, when I went to the post-op 2 weeks ago with the neurosurgeon, I said, I really want to research cyberknife. And he said, you can't. He said, there's nothing to research. He said, you have to have this. He said, you're going to end up, all that hardware I put in your back's going to fall out, and you're going to end up paralyzed again.
Well, that's kind of true, but it's if that happens, the hardware will fall out. But God, I mean, look, I mean, what would I do personally if I was in your position? But I would probably start off with an 11-day dry fast. I've never seen results as fast as that. Now, Sophia Clements would sit on my shoulder now and say, "You never need to fast. All you need to do is, the PKD, their Paleolithic ketogenic diet," and they do. I mean, they've been reversing glioblastomas, where you get given like 2, 3 months to live, and my friend Andrew Scarborough is 11 years on from that and totally healthy. So they have the best results, and Zophia's a real good personal friend of mine. Now, every time I click on this website, even when you put en on the end, it comes up in Hungarian or something. However, at the top, at the top of that page that I've sent, It's paleomedicina@gmail.com. You can see the email there. If you can find a little, I'm crap, at technology, and I can't seem to find the thing that turns the website into English. But there is something. Sometimes I get it in English, sometimes I don't. But have any trouble, contact me, and I'll put you in contact with Zofia. And you must talk to them. Really, that they are fantastic, and they're actual proper doctors there who've seen all these reversals. And it's best with cancer to go and talk to somebody who's got those clinical results. I know exactly what they're going to tell you, but take it from them, not me. All right.
Okay.
Definitely talk to
Okay.
Zofia. But anything you want to chat about, if you want to send me messages, anything, any advice, anything, I'm here to chat for you. But I can't tell you exactly what to do, because they will be tracking your bloods and everything online. And honestly, they are the experts in that. Emmanuel says, "What's wrong with Gerson therapy, Phil?" Okay. Well, it used to be a bit better when, with all their ridiculous juicing, they would put organ meats in there. So at least there was some nutrition. But when Charlotte Gerson took over from her dad, I believe, she got rid of that. And so now it's all just mushed up plant toxins. It's basically a fast. This is why it can work sometimes. And when people say they've had cancer reversals on Gerson therapy, it's often true. However, much like, well, let's say for 99% of people it doesn't work, and like 1% it does. Oh, cool. Well done. Terrell's put up another link. Get English on the Paleomedicina. But so it's a fast, right? That's why Gerson therapy works. And often you can get rid of tumors by fasting. So the trouble is that down the line, then you get a whole load of build-up of plant toxins, and often the original issue comes back, like it does with chemotherapy. I mean, sometimes with chemotherapy, they can get rid of actual tumors, but you want to get rid of the process that is causing the tumor, right? The tumor is not the problem in itself. It's the process of unusual cell replication. So when you've got rid of that and found that actually tumors do reverse quite quickly. I mean, seeing how fast my mother's breast cancer reversed when we nailed it, it's quicker than getting rid of an autoimmune condition. It can reverse very, very quickly. Tumors on the bone take a bit longer, but as long as they're not paralyzing you, if they're pressing on something, an organ or a spinal cord or something like that, I would not say to somebody, don't get surgery. But it isn't stopping the process. So fasting can stop the process, but then you've got all those plant toxins. It just crap, Emmanuel. It just comes back. The results on high fat carnivore is so much better. The thing is, the best way to get into autophagy and apoptosis, where it's blowing up the cell and or clearing out the cells, the old cells, is to subtract everything. People on 11-day dry fasts are getting rid of like pancreatic cancer and stuff. There's that sort of 11-day magical time that those two independent Russian researchers have come up with. You go through sort of the ketosis, then the apoptosis, autophagy, all of that kind of thing, and then you go through what's called two acidotic crises around the 9th and 10th days, or is it the 8th and 10th, something like that. But anyway, they can happen. It's different for each person. But it should really be supervised when you dry fast for that long. No food, no water, nothing. And that is the best way to get the body to go for it, right? But I would say not necessary, particularly, Kelly, you say you got to leave, but the dry fasting thing, look into it. If you're going to go for that, for the dry fasting, just on what I've said, I think that's not particularly a good idea. Just look into it more. If your heart rate goes up over 120, back out, right? Take some electrolytes, take some water. That's one of the signs that there's an electrolyte imbalance. But This is a complex subject. My main advice, please, please talk to Zofia. Tell her that you know me and that I've recommended. And if you have any trouble getting through, message me, please, through
How
sub.
do I go back messaging you?
Well, are you in my Substack?
No, a friend of mine just told me about you.
Okay. Um, how can you message me? Here we go. I'll put it here. You can email me there. You can sign up to my Substack. You can catch me through there, but that will get to my, straight to my email. Anything you need, any help, any more links, anything, please.
Wait, where did that go? Let's see.
That's gone in the chat. Can you see where it says
Oh,
chat at the bottom?
yes, I see it now. Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, but if you put my name in or something or in Substack, and if you lose that or anything, you can find me through my YouTube channel, my website, philescott.com, or if you lose that one, but that's my email address. But please, anything you need, let me know.
Okay, right now I'm in this brace for the next 8 weeks, and they also have me on a bone. What's it called? It helps bone produce. I can't think of the name of the little thing. It's just kind of it just goes on top of me and has a little timer on it for 4 hours, and it just helps the bone to reproduce.
Okay, I'm not sure what that would be. Is it some sort of frequency device or something?
Yes, frequency. Yes, that's what I was trying
Okay.
to think of.
Possibly. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know.
So anyway, so they just said, you got to do the cyber knife. So I go in for a consultation tomorrow to find out about it. I'm just dreading it. I just don't want it, but
Yeah, your body is warning you. This is difficult. I can't really give medical advice. You can go see these people and then see what your intuition says. But I would say honestly, the best thing, talk to Sophia. Their results clinically are incredible, and it's safe, and there's nothing scary, and they're just lovely. And definitely talk to them.
okay. I did hear of, I don't know if it's the same people or not, but I did hear of some people that were overseas. I watched a YouTube video on fasting, medical, and it was all supervised.
Yes, but this will do the same thing, right? Really high fat, ruminant animal, meat only, carnivore will do the same thing because there's everything you need and nothing you don't. The danger about fasting is that you can lose muscle, and then in cancer, that sort of cachexia or however you pronounce it is basically the most dangerous thing, isn't it? Where you really, really lose weight. That's why they tell you, yeah, take the chemo and eat loads of donuts to keep your weight up. It's absolute nonsense, obviously, but they know that the sort of wasting away thing is an issue, as
I
it
have a
is.
friend, I have a friend that's on this Zoom that's listening, and she makes homemade beef broth with like 3 feet long bones and everything. And she just brought some, so I've been drinking a lot of that homemade beef broth.
Beautiful, yes, but just really fatty red meat. Okay, Rad's put fatty red meat and butter, but not butter for cancer. Not it. No, the paleomedicina put dairy up with grains and seed oils. As dangerous. You don't want even a molecule of dairy at all. But definitely red meat. And it's not about eating loads of meat or eating loads of bone broth. What is the magic is cutting out absolutely all the plants. There's nothing magical about meat. It's just our food. The rest of it is what the problem is. All sugar gone, all plant derived stuff completely gone. Even pork, chicken, dairy, and eggs. So fatty beef and lamb, salt and water with a little bit of organ meats. But I just really, I got to keep on saying, I can tell you exactly if you need a consult, you need a one-to-one chat with somebody for confidence, for, a load of love instead of fear mongering and some really good advice. That's what you need. And I'd be really happy to do it, right? But I think you'd be best off with Sophia. I can tell you exactly what they'll tell you, but they have the clinical results, and they will probably give you more confidence. And if you put
Okay.
my name and Zophia's into YouTube, there's a great chat that I've had with her that I posted recently on my podcast. It's on my YouTube. Any videos with Zofia. She's lovely. And what you need is a load of confidence and love and not fear mongering, right?
Right.
You do. And you know, lots of love to you. Anything you need, please message me because I've seen so many times what you're going through, you know?
Yeah, it's terrible.
I know. But
Because
don't,
I thought I was doing the right thing by not doing the chemo. And, now I'm second guessing myself. Should I've done all of that? But I just knew that the chemo, I read early on, one of the first comments I read was you can't poison your way to health. And I thought
yeah,
that's so true. You
that's
can't
perfect.
poison.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as far as I see, sometimes the chemo will get rid of certain tumors, but it's destroyed the rest of your of your immune system and everything. And how many times do you see people go, "Oh, I got better from the chemo, the tumors went away," but then it came back much more aggressively 5 years later, right? It's really common because they're not addressing the right thing.
Right,
You've got
right.
to address the root cause of
I
it.
knew I wasn't going to go down that route. Even if they told me tomorrow you have to do chemo too, I would say just put me in a medical coma and let me die because I will not do chemo. There's just no way.
That's exactly what I'd say. Exactly.
There's no way. There's no way I would ever do chemo. Not in
Yeah,
a million years. That's not the way I want to die.
yeah. Well, you know, if you want a chat with me, if you want to consult with me, please contact me. If you want to, both of us, maybe me and Zofia, just all sorts of things. Zofia is and paleomedicina are much more straight down the line, you know. I'll hang out, chat to you about all the emotional side of things as well, which I think is really important to get, because if you're really stressed out, I mean, how many people get told, "Oh, you got cancer"? They probably had it for 8 years and they didn't even know, and then they have cancer, and then they say you got 6 months to live, and then they're dead in about a month. And that I think is because of the horrendous fear mongering and the stress.
I
So
think so
just
too.
take it away and chill and just love yourself and just
I do pray a lot, so
cool.
that plays an important role too.
Yeah, Rad says, Kelly, bless you, and I wish you well. And Phil's right about Sophia. I don't know how to spell. No, that's close. But, yeah, yeah, please look, just my heart's really gone out to you of you jumping on today. And anything I can do, please let me know.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, unfortunately, I have to leave, so
That's okay. Lots of love to
thank
you.
you. God bless you.
See you, Kelly.
All right. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, yes. Wow. My heart goes out. Okay. Um, Laurie, I haven't come to you till now because you're usually the first in, so but I've got that's your friend, is it, Laurie?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for doing that. And I was pulling up that website, paleomedicina.com, and it won't go through. It
Yeah,
won't
yeah. Well,
go up.
she's just get her to contact me. I'll sort her out and get her to link up with Sophia. But
Yeah, that'd be good because she was saying that tomorrow that she thinks they're going to pressure her into doing it tomorrow. The cyber knife radiation. Yeah. So
sorry, but these fucking fearmongers. It's just, I mean, it's just the state that it puts people in. This horrible fear. You can see it. You can see just how upset she is by these people.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just it drives me mad. I remember going into a rheumatologist and they say, yeah, you got it for life and you're going to have to take these meds and that's it. And otherwise it's going to go to this organ and that organ. And you come out just horrified. And it's so nice. If I do a consult with somebody, the attitude is, hey, listen, you fucked up a bit, but you're going to get better and you're going to learn how to keep yourself healthy and your family healthy for generations. And you're going to come out better the other side than you went in. Illness can be a massive gift. And it's nice to see them at the end of a consult smiling, and feeling so much better. And that's whole part of the healing as well. When I see somebody like Kelly here, who's, they've obviously got right into her, haven't they? You got to do this desperately, you got to do that, you got to do that. And then it's just,
Yeah. Yeah. So she got rid of it with the apricot seeds for a while. Oh, is it echoing? Oh, I don't know why. Sorry. Is it echoing on my end?
it's echoing a bit. It's kind of stopped now. It's usually when somebody's unmuted. It's usually not me. The only one unmuted is Rad, but I don't think I don't know if that's the
Oh.
echo. But anyway, carry on. It wasn't. It's all
Okay.
right.
Okay. So she had the apricot seeds and then it went away. And then she thought she was good. And then I asked her if she's abstaining from sugar or what. And she said, no, I'm back eating sugar. And I thought, oh, that's not good. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah, but also apricot kernels. I mean, Rad says the fear alone can make things worse, but no, this body knows how to heal. It's programmed in our DNA, absolutely. But look, the apricot kernels, you know how incredibly toxic they are?
yeah, they're probably got arsenic in them, I bet.
It's basically chemo. I don't know what's in. Is it cyanide? I think it is
Yes.
in apricot kernels.
That's what I thought.
It's cyanide. So come on. Yeah, yeah, Rad says cyanide. So,
I thought it was B17 in apricot kernels, Phil.
yes, it is. Yeah, but it's just crap. Why do you need that? They say they've isolated that this great cancer cure. But what really helps is that you can it's taking away all this stuff, so the body heals on its own. You don't need to pile these things in. People go, oh yeah, great apricot kernels, but I heard Anthony talking about that in Spain year before last, and he was going through plant toxins, and when you realize just how toxic apricot kernels are, so a lot of the seeds of these plants are, like even apple seeds and things. So horrible, really. And so maybe one person in 100 might have some results off apricot kernels, but then what happens? It comes back, right? It's chemo.
Yeah, and she was eating a lot of them, even after she got well. She was eating them every day, probably I think 6 a day, every day. I don't know, maybe that.
Yeah, well, there we go. We do panic and do these things, but it takes years to sort of just realize that the most powerful thing is taking things away.
Yeah, yeah. So I just gave her a whole bunch of bone broth and fresh eggs because I was trying to put an egg yolk in the bone broth, but she should just do nothing. Just no food. Just total, no bone broth, no egg yolks.
No, look, just go see Sophia, all right? I'm telling you what I'd do. But because I have faith in the dry fasting and it really can knock it out. And so you can do like 11 days and you're not going to lose any muscle because you don't lose muscle on dry fasting, but you do on water fasting. And it's much quicker to get into autophagy and apoptosis on dry fasting. But Sophia would tell me I'm a lunatic because she sees weird bloods on fasting. But then again, you see weird bloods on carnivore. That's why you ask Sophia well, I do if I get a blood test done, which I hardly ever do, to get her to interpret it. And I don't listen to anything that the local doctors say because they have no idea what blood should look like on carnivore. So Sophia knows. But then again, she's not into the fasting. So maybe what the body is doing that she's seeing on bloods on fasting is exactly natural and what the body should do. But I don't like dealing with cancer, really.
Yeah. And so the cyber knife is going to go like right where they put all this metal hardware. They're going to do that cyber knife, and it's a real small margin of error because your spinal cord is right there, and if the metal heats up and it's like right on the spinal cord, could that cook your spinal cord? Fry it.
All sorts of things can go horribly wrong. I mean, look at Jonathan Griffiths, carnivore muscle. He's his life has been ruined by spinal surgery and putting metal in there. And my son, his neck is full of titanium from having a aneurysmal bone cyst when he was 12. Now he's 34. He's actually got away with it pretty well, but who knows? Yeah, these interventions are horrific. If you're just about to die and you're bleeding out and a bone sticking out of your leg, fantastic. These people are great, but these sort of interventions. Terrell says fasting resolved RA for me 20 years ago. Yeah, it is very powerful, but they say that carnivore is a fasting mimicking diet. I think I like Anthony's thing that it's, fasting is a carnivore mimicking thing. So, I just think what Kelly needs is people who've got actually clinical results of reversing these things, and that's Sophia. I'm terrible. I don't even keep records and stuff, and I'm just, I know what to do and I know what to tell people, and I like to work with people with autoimmunity. But once it's at that stage, there's nobody better in the world than Sophia and paleomedicine.
Well, I hope that you can talk like tomorrow, because she's going to get the pressure put on her tomorrow.
She will do, yeah. And Rad's right here. Look at Thomas Seyfried on YouTube. Thomas Seyfried talks a lot of sense. And the thing is to get confidence. If she sits down there and binge watches Thomas Seyfried and Sophia Clements and whatever, she's going to get really good confidence that she can walk away from that fear-mongering criminal Rockefeller medical system. That's what she needs.
Yeah, and then all the hardware that she's got in her spine, she probably has to take all that stuff out.
Well, it's like my son could have it taken out, but then it's just as big an op to take it out as it is to put it in. So I don't know. It's something that really is not the first problem right now. The first problem is to stop that process and then see what's going on. But please, please tell her, keep encouraging her. She might just have dropped in on this call and she'll see a real short thing, and then it won't be enough to give her confidence. And really, what's been said to her tonight is gold from people here and from, the advice. But when you hear it the first time, diluted in all the medical fear-mongering, it can just get buried. So please keep encouraging her. I'm really happy to talk to her, but she needs to talk to Sophia. But she needs to look at loads of interviews with her and stuff to have confidence that this is the thing and it can happen. It can reverse. Yeah.
Yeah. She's already checked out Thomas Seyfried, and why she went back on the sugar is mind-boggling. But
well, it's not. It's like you just get told that you get desperate, don't you? And then you think, well, I just need a bit of a dopamine hit. I deserve a bit of that. I know the process. I've been through it. You do, But yeah. Anyway, listen, I've got to leg it now. It's 5:30, so I've got to go and pick. Yeah, Terrell. Yeah.
So one quickie. On the borax, how do you know that you need borax?
Borax. Yeah, one thing, just Terrell's put that up. Anthony did do a video with Sophia, yeah, and I've got one up there as well, with Sophia, and yeah, she's very cool. Lots of interviews with her. But Laurie, how do you know you need borax? You probably don't. You really need to be healing the gut first and getting rid of that inflammation before you need to worry about borax. That's more rebuilding joints or clearing out halides from the thyroid.
Right.
You're
Okay.
always looking for something to take, aren't you? What magic potion can I take today? I tell you, a magic potion, fatty meat and nothing else. Am I going to have to do another video short with you where I tear my own head off?
Hopefully not. On the stuff that's in the pills, the vitamins, citrates and citric acid, they make you worse, or they like the because Sally Norton, she talks about that getting rid of oxalates.
Well, it's not getting rid of oxalate. It's getting rid. Yeah, this Manuel's got it there. It's getting rid of oxalates safely. It's like her theory is that the citrates will help to dissolve stones and take oxalates out of the body without creating kidney stones and stuff. And she might be right. And then Sophia just goes, no, they'll give you kidney stones. So you've got to, you've got to kind of balance out whatever. Because Sally's been on my podcast as well. He wrote that, and I think she's great. And so Emmanuel says, "Watch Sophia on the dangers of raw milk." The interview I did with her. Yeah, she could be right. But listen, you don't need it. You don't need anything else, honestly.
Well, yeah. So on the citric acid, maybe it'll get rid of the oxalates, but it'll rip up your gut.
It does not that it doesn't get rid of oxalates. It just helps them to come out sort of more safely. Anyway, can you hear this noise? Here, Laurie, hear this noise.
Yes.
That's me banging my head against my filing cabinet.
I'm going to be a teacher someday, so I need to know all the details.
Laurie likes adding things.
Read that book. Did Emmanuel
Laurie, get this book. Laurie, get this book.
Okay? Yes, I've read it. Yes.
Have you read it?
Cool.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Well, there you go.
Good book.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but if Sally Norton's thing will mess up the gut, then you'll just get a different problem.
Yes. That is true, depending on what type of magnesium citrate and calcium citrate and whatever citrate. Darko Velcek. That's his name. The seawater dude. It's funny, isn't it, how it pops in like when you're not. Darko Velcek. So have a look at this. He's a weird guy. He's I believe that is how you spell it. That is his name. He's the guy who's into drinking massive amounts of plasma and seawater. There's lots of interviews with him. I'm not sure I'll have him on the podcast, but I do have one coming out. Well, I'm going to record it tomorrow with Dr. David Cartland, who's really spoken out against the jabs. They've been hounding him for years, and they've now
he's in the bad state, isn't there? Terrible things to him,
I know
him. Oh my God, terrible.
They've struck him off now.
Yes. Yeah.
We talked to him a while ago, and he had a bit of jab damage. We helped him out with going carnivore, but I'm going to have a good chat with him tomorrow, and I think that's going to be one that's get my YouTube channel pulled down.
Do you know what they've done to him in terms of his what have they said? He can no longer. He used to do training with the kids, football training, and because they something to do with what was it again? The child thing.
Yeah, he's basically on the register now, isn't he? So he can't even work with kids.
Exactly.
He's never had any problem with kids. Nothing to do with that.
Absolutely.
Destroyed him. It's ridiculous.
They destroyed him, basically. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But anyway, I shall be chatting to him at midday tomorrow, and then we'll post that chat up soon.
Okay.
But anyway, guys, I've got
to
disappear. There's no Z in what, Rad?
No Z in Darko Velcek.
No, you're absolutely right. It was, you know what it is? It was some sort of like that Eastern European kind of name. And I was thinking, I know there's like weird letters in there. And so the Z was distracting me. You're right. I see. All right, guys, I'm off.
Bye, Phil. Thank you.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.